Well, I'll have eyes. My sister is actually attending the Bachelor
She won't
party.
tell you.
No, she won't. She'll be a good soldier for sure.
Yeah, your allegiance is lost. That's what happens in marriage.
I know what's gonna happen in about like 10 seconds. People be like, "Oh, should we not like talk shit about Terry because Molly's here?" And Molly's gonna be like, "We're talking shit about Terry. I'm gonna lap all you bitches. I've got the most material here."
Where's she going?
They're doing Austin the weekend after we're in Vegas.
Good luck.
Dude. Oh, man.
Right. So yeah,
I'll just go.
She found this
You'll be
great.
there singing Hey Leonardo on karaoke randomly. Just, what are the odds? You guys are in the same bar.
They're really excited because they found this great food blog called ATX Foodie.
It has one review.
It has one review of a great fish taco place.
Yeah.
That means it's worth it.
Yeah.
If that's all
sure.
it was they were willing to review,
I've been fun of you for that.
It was
Betty.
good. It was good.
It was good. It was good. And hey, that laid the that laid the foundation for your other online presence exploits. So nothing was for loss.
does it
Shout
still
out
exist?
ATX Foodie. It can't.
I don't think so.
Was it just?
Is it on a blog spot?
Yeah. Do you remember what?
I thought I was just doing it on Twitter.
No, you had a blog.
It had a web page.
Yeah,
I put some thought into that then.
Blogspot was WordPress a thing at that point?
It might be WordPress.
Could have been. It could have been WordPress.
Yeah. And then we just ran out of money, so we didn't need that much.
That was right when the .com bubble
needed to raise
burst.
capital.
That was the first bubble burst.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
There you go. There you go. Well, yeah.
So much so that somebody took over your ATX Foodie blog spot.
Well,
man.
Oh,
dude,
really?
That it's the ultimate because that could have been worth a lot.
Man, it could have.
Unless
no blog spot is worth a lot.
No, the food scene in Austin.
If Benny had atxfoodie.com.
Oh, yeah.
Then that's a URL. That'd be but I don't know if yours was atxfoodie.blogspot.
It has been .blogspot.
Yeah,
.gov.
it was. It was definitely.
I'm trying to remember
.blogspot.
the name of that place. Oh, I forget. But it was very good.
Don't temper your review now. It's all over the internet.
I'll remember it. I'll think of it.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. We're like
send Molly and Sam on do nothing during your bachelorette party, but find this.
You
restaurant.
have to do this.
I don't know the name. I'm not totally sure where it was, but it is a fish taco place.
It's a taco place in Austin. How many could there be?
Dude, how about that West Coast Conference tournament?
How about that West Coast Conference tournament? Benny said it perfectly. We're going to Vegas a week and a half too late. I should have known this was going to happen. We should have had a Tuesday afternoon bachelor party in Vegas like everyone does. So we could have seen this epic win by Oregon State women's basketball. We should just dive right into the game.
The entire run.
Right, the entire run, which we would have gone to, which culminated in, there's a reason why we're recording on this Tuesday night, this Champions Tuesday. It's 8:24 Pacific time because we couldn't record on Monday or Sunday, definitely not Saturday, because three wins in 3 days by America's Team 2.0. The best story in women's collegiate basketball for the second season in a row.
Or just collegiate basketball.
Or all of collegiate basketball.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that earlier. Like, real quick. I have not cared much about, there's no good storylines in men's hoops right now.
No.
There really hasn't been in, a while.
Yeah.
But it's great that the Beavs are providing that storyline, at least for women's hoops fans or hoops fans in general. The last 2 seasons, but I feel like this one does mean so much more. It carries way more weight.
100%. 100%.
This means a lot, and Rueck said as much. I'll point our listeners towards there was a recap written by Daschle pretty quickly after the game, but about maybe an hour and a half ago before we started recording, more in-depth feature was posted to OregonLive.com. I'm sure it will be in tomorrow's Oregonian. That just sort of reflected on if you still get it or find it. Do they still put it on newsstands? I don't know. I don't want to think about that. But
are those downtown?
if you can find a way, it's a very good piece, and it just quotes from Rueck, from AJ, from Catarina, and just all of the different storylines
and our
that
girl
have come
Sarah
together.
Alcano's in there.
And so, yeah, Sarah Alcano was quoted in it as well. Shout out, Sarah. Title of the piece is a quote from Rueck where it's been tough to be us. And coming from a guy who refuses to say a negative word about anybody and has refused to complain, has pointed out, the error of the ways that college sports are trending, and it hasn't shied away from calling out the greed and the things that are, impacting everything, but always understanding we have a job to do. We have a community to play for and show up for, and there are no excuses. And they didn't make excuses when they were 1-4 in November. They didn't make excuses during a losing streak in January. And since that losing streak, it's essentially been near perfect basketball against some pretty good teams. 10-2 in their last 12. This most recent 3-game stretch we were talking about, and we don't necessarily need to compare it to other runs that Rueck teams have had, but I don't think that you can come up with anything more special than in this first season in this crazy circumstance.
Improbable
to go 3 wins in 3 days and nail the automatic qualifying bid for the West Coast Conference.
Yeah.
And hang a banner. And a conference that only belongs to in the interim.
And get championship hats with champions printed upside down. I know that's a trend, but still.
I want to get a West Coast Conference championship shirt. It's going to be vintage. It's going to be so vintage in 20 years.
Listener Joe put them out. He posted a link.
Oh, nice.
$32.99.
They're out there already.
Nice, because in 20 years, you're going to wear that and people are going to be like, oh, shit, I forgot. We played in the West Coast Conference those 2 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's going to be cool.
Yeah. I know. I was about to pull the trigger earlier, but then bedtime arose. Well, not mine, but
after maybe all of ours. To be honest. After Katie Schuler's game winner yesterday, aka Kenny Clutch, the one women's basketball black uniform jersey that's available on the Oregon State website is number 1, and her name's not on the back because they probably don't give her money for it, which is stupid. Yeah. But it's just number 1. So, but it was available in unisex size large, and it's been on the website for a while. So when I first saw it's like going fast or like only a few remain, there was one large. So I pulled the trigger and got it. And then I was about to text you guys about it and forgot to. And then today I was like, oh shit, did I just jinx that when we were down 13-7 and couldn't hit a shot? I was like, God. Oh God. But no, so I should have it in Vegas, and it'll be making the trip with me.
Nice.
Do I wear my Beers jersey?
No.
Sure.
I mean,
you can
we're Oregon State fans. We like beers.
We like beers. Yeah. As long as you drink 15 of them, then you can say it's for something different.
Done. In Vegas.
Yeah. I think that'll be a pretty easy ask.
Yeah. That was still the best welcome to Vegas. Finding you. What bar was it? It was in the what casino were we in? I forget. I forget when I saw you and you were like, Ben, I have had 13 Bud Lights waiting for you. It's like you haven't been waiting that long.
This for your bachelor party, Benny, or for
no. This is for the Vegas Bowl. When you were down there for the Vegas Bowl.
I was doing that.
Yes, you were doing this by yourself at the bar in Vegas waiting for me.
I thought you were talking to... I didn't actually have 13 Bud Lights. I think I had
Yeah,
I think I had a couple waiting for you.
Yeah.
No, I had probably drank. I got in town like 6 hours before Ben and Yuri did, so I had some time to kill.
It was Yuri's first time meeting Terry.
Essentially water.
Like, it was Yuri's first time meeting you, and she's like, everything that you've told me about Terry is true.
Just accurate.
Duh, we don't lie about our friends.
Just accurate.
This is exactly what I pictured Terry as. That was a fun trip. It'll be more fun this next weekend or next week.
I'll be there in 8 days. When do you guys get in?
Oh man, 9. I'm
still Thursday morning.
I didn't remember, but I took Wednesday off work, thinking that I was going to be getting.
Then get down there Wednesday. So JP has a buddy.
Yeah. And I have the weirdest flight, dude. Did I tell you guys this already? My flight goes out through Santa Rosa.
Oh,
Santa Rosa. Yeah. PDX through Santa Rosa to Vegas.
Wait, what?
Santa Rosa is like the North Bay. It's like a tiny airport.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a 4-hour layover in Santa Rosa.
Oh,
I mean, that's where B-Rad got married. It was in Santa Rosa.
You didn't fly into Santa Rosa though, did you?
No. We flew into SFO and drove there like adults.
Yeah, adults, please. I get to fly into this little town.
Man, that airplane must be tiny.
I'm pretty sure it's
Santa Rosa
small.
Flies to Vegas.
Really excited.
Dude, I bet you that airport is just like a really fancy wine bar that has that has airplanes. That's got to be what it is.
All I'm going to do is be complaining the entire time that there's no Buffalo Gold or Platinum slots to play at that airport.
Yeah. Right.
Dude, there will be play Buffalo.
Wait, what? You guys realize it's the Charles M. Schultz Sonoma County Airport? Is this the same
Charles
thing?
Charles Schultz? That's the
Schultz.
owner of the Sonics or the
no, that was Howard Schultz. Charles Schultz was
the Peanuts guy,
and that guy's from St. Paul, Minnesota. But I think he has
an airport named after him.
I think he loved it.
Sonoma County.
I think he wintered there.
He just loved.
Benny. He loves wine. He can't think about anything without wine.
This airport is so ridiculous.
Motherfucker got stuck in the Charlie Brown pants.
In the
logo is Snoopy on his doghouse with like.
Then
his
it's pilot. The same guy. Sam's gonna burst in here and correct me in a second. Charles Schultz's connections to Santa Rosa.
The background of the airport's homepage is literally vineyards.
They know why people go. They know why people are there.
But I'm trying to look up what's at the airport.
It's the people that fly in there are like the greatest sommeliers in the world.
It's Portland, Phoenix, Seattle, San Diego, Salt Lake, Palm Springs, Orange County, LA area, Vegas. I don't know where Kalispell is, and then Dallas, Burbank, Boise, and then Bend, Redmond Airport all have nonstop flights to Santa Rosa, Sonoma County Airport. Charles M. Schultz, Sonoma County Airport.
Dude, that airport's definitely built for billionaires that are flying private.
We need like photographic evidence of what this airport looks like once you get there.
Yeah,
I'm so
want
curious.
People to come hang out with me,
and at least it's not lying about stuff like the airport in Oklahoma City, which is called Roy Rogers World Airport, and it has no international flights.
Really?
Yeah, to say World Airport.
Rogers is World.
Yeah. Roy, it is. Yeah, there's a giant statue of Roy Rogers outside.
Who's Roy Rogers?
Just some famous cowboy. I have when I saw that, I looked up. I don't think they have any international flights.
Should have been a cowboy.
Outlaw Joyce Wales, probably not related. I don't know.
Oh man, I can't even, guys. I can't even see the terminal from an aerial shot of the airport. I can see the landing strips.
There's going to be one restaurant.
I don't think it has a terminal. I think it has a landing strip and then a building beside the landing strip.
What if there's nowhere to go, like no indoor area? So they I have to walk down the steps for the plane, like collect my suitcase and just like stand off to the side.
That's kind of classy. That's how you always see people get off planes in the movies, is just walking down the staircase.
That's how it used to be. Yeah, just like hang out on the runway. You're fine.
Yeah, you can probably smoke
planes.
You can probably smoke on the plane.
Oh, probably.
It's just 1950. The second you pass the threshold onto the plane, it's just
oh my god,
1952, and there are no rules.
The airport. Music is playing. This photo on Wikipedia is a picture of the airport, and you can see in the background it's just like cinder block walls, and there's some elderly gentleman sitting at a desk that is like a Lucy like psychiatrist help desk. And it says airport help 5 cents. The helper is in. And it's just this guy in like a puffy jacket and like a veteran's hat, like sitting, leaning back in his chair, smiling. So
at least there'll be someone to talk to.
It's gonna be an experience
for 5 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, sir, but there's no Buffalo Platinum slots for me to play to win 5 cents.
Well, if he mentions that there's a field goal kicking game that you can play, don't do it. He's trying to trick you, just like Lucy did to Charlie Brown.
Oh, but I will so fall for that. But field goal game, I'm in.
If he pulls out a football, he's gonna pull out that football too soon.
I'm gonna be so in. Hey,
nice,
very cool. I'm excited to fly in there. I'm excited to get there a day early. I'm getting early arrival to your bachelor party. That's how much it means to me.
Good. Oh man, I might do it. I might go down early. And then we can watch the play-in games are on Wednesday, right?
Wednesday? I think there'll be some first four on Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then Thursday is Thursday get the first round.
Thursday's the first round. Yeah.
So we wake up bright and early. Get us.
Oh yeah.
Get a spot somewhere. I get in at like noonish.
Yeah, you land at noon though. You'll be in by there'll be like 3 games left.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
whole tournament. It'll be the whole tournament will be over already.
Yeah.
Dude, and the worst part about Vegas is when you land, it looks like the strip is just like walking distance from you, and it takes forever to get to your hotel.
Not.
So
it's not.
Nope, it's not.
But
I did might catch afternoon game.
Reddit's really good at like retargeting and presenting you with subreddits that might be like of interest, and they clearly get it from your other traffic and whatnot, because I had not looked up anything about Vegas on Reddit. I know plenty enough to not need to look up anything, but one of the like recommended subreddits after I booked my hotel was Las Vegas, and it was somebody being like, has anyone walked from the airport to the strip? Like, I'm about to do that, and then somebody's like, oh, I did it, but it was like February, and so it was kind of cold, and it was fine. It wasn't very long. It took like an hour.
It wasn't very long.
Yeah.
Do
not do that in October, and I'm like, why am I seeing this? They must know.
We walked from Allegiant Stadium back to the Link after the Vegas Bowl.
And it was cold.
And it was chilly. Cold. We stopped at a lot of places along the way, but you can get from that stadium back to the strip fairly easily.
Yeah. They have like a bridge.
We saw like the Uber pickup area, and it was like absolutely
noped out of it.
This is like, let's just.
And that was at a half-filled stadium too.
Right. Let's get out of here. And the Florida fans had all left early too. It was just drunk ass Beaver fans. Our people, and we're still just like, I don't want to try to find like the right black SUV that's here for us in this. But anyway, should we do a beer segment and then get into talking about the actual games this weekend?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Sure. All right. Well, I am back to my very joyful victory hams inside of an old school Benny koozie.
Ooh, nice.
The koozie makes it taste better. It tastes like winning. It tastes like
championships.
The Hall of Fame coach we have. 2 weeks ago,
baby.
Champions.
It has West a crown on it, doesn't it?
Kinda. Basically.
Yeah.
You only crown winners.
Crowns for queens and kings.
Right.
And everyone.
Hell yeah.
So yeah,
the queens have way better crowns.
Yeah,
queens always do get better crowns.
Yep.
Yeah, even like on a chessboard.
On a chessboard,
that's true.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's like the king just got a little like thing, and then
king is a pointy hat.
Queen's got multi-element
jewels. hella jeweled out.
Run the jewels.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. They're with Wu-Tang this year.
We'll talk more about Benny and I will for sure be talking more about Run the Jewels and Wu-Tang, who we might see on their Portland stop, JP.
Yeah. I know, we talked about this.
Yeah.
You guys.
Did we talk about this 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, redundant content. We're losing listeners right now. I can feel them hanging up on us.
Terry, what are you doing?
The whole 175 episode run of this podcast has been redundant. They're here for the redundancy. They love the redundancy. This segment itself is redundant as hell. JP, do you have a Starburst IPA again? Redundant. Just kidding, JP. JP, do you have anything besides the Starburst, or is it just a Starburst?
So I'm drinking an Ecliptic Brewing, if you've heard of it. They were purchased by somebody. They were a local Portland brewery, and it's a 12-ounce can. And those who don't know, this is a brewery that always makes star and space themed beer. And names, at least. They don't make it space themed beers. That would be cool, but they don't.
Very cool.
And then it's 7.8% alcohol. Oh, I didn't realize that. But established in 2013, Portland, Oregon, Earth. Good to clarify if you're making intergalactic beer, where exactly it was made. And this is their Starburst IPA. If you haven't heard of it, it's a great drinkable casual IPA, and it's very new to me. Maybe like 50,000 times ago, but it might be new to the listener this time.
Light years ago.
Yeah,
sure. Nice. So, and you seem very happy with that.
Was it good?
Very happy. Wow, I think I might have 50.
Well, I feel like I drank this before.
What universe am I in?
Benny, are you celebrating with anything this evening?
No, I celebrated last night with a new joint of a new flower that's called Skunks. And it reminded me of a lot of bad things in this world. No, it's just called Skunk, actually.
Oh.
But yeah, it was good. It was.
I haven't seen a skunk in so long. Has anyone seen a skunk in a while?
No.
I used to see them more, I feel like, when I was, I don't know, maybe more just aware of my surroundings.
Urban expansion, man.
No, not just because of winter. I'm talking years. I mean, we have freaking coyotes running down our street, and I sometimes see raccoons and possums on our cameras. But
I've seen coyotes run down your street.
I used to see foxes on the train tracks by my old apartment. Oh, yeah, Benny and I ran from coyotes that one weekend we were there for Iskander's birthday.
Yeah,
that was terrible. There was 9 of them in the street.
Yeah.
Just
I was those are really big dogs.
That was the night we were leaving your house.
Tall?
We walked back to our Airbnb from your house, and we saw them, and we were both just just go. If we leave them alone, they'll leave us alone. Then another half block later, we looked, and Benny's they still there, and I was they're still there, and then we just took off running.
They told everyone fresh meat.
Dude, I'd be nervous if I had a small dog there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think people are. But I always wonder every time our dog runs to the back alleyway fence and barks at it hysterically. I'm like, do I want you to bark at it? Is it somebody walking by, or is it coyotes? And I'm happy that you're barking. I don't know.
Maybe it's somebody walking by, but it's really just 3 coyotes in a trench coat.
Yeah,
the triple whammy.
It's a person. It's Portland, so maybe it's a person dressed like a coyote,
or it's a person dressed as a coyote.
That's probably more likely.
Yeah.
I bet there are more people,
which is more disturbing but less scary.
Yeah, I don't want them near my backyard.
Wasn't there a news story one time about a coyote that got on the Max and just rode it for a while?
Yes, yes.
Does that still happen, or is that one time, and then it was one of those local news things where it was eventually the coyote got off at its destination.
Well, happy
trails, fella.
That coyote went back to all his dudes, and he's never ride the Max, man. That thing was so slow.
It is so slow.
Right. It's faster than traffic. It's not faster than traffic. It's all good.
We can walk way faster. We're good.
I never understood about the max is like the understanding of people who set up the stops was that people in Portland just like didn't like to walk, right? Because I feel like the stops in downtown, they're so close together.
Yeah. It's like
don't like that. Not a fan.
I mean, I get it for pickup, drop-off purposes, but like, yeah, I agree. And also, it doesn't go very far into most of the city or fast.
Right.
At all.
I don't think I've ridden it since 2012, so maybe it's changed a little bit. But I do remember one time being like, "Hey, maybe we should we should just hop on the max," and then it's like that scene in Office Space where he's stuck in traffic and he sees the old man in the walker pass him on the sidewalk and then just get progressively further and further away. And I'm like, that's the route we normally walk. And
and we're faster than that guy. I can guarantee
kudos.
it.
I'm all for accessible and efficient forms of public transportation, but we got places to go. And the next place we have to go is the formally discussing this incredible achievement in the history of Oregon State women's basketball. The final score, Oregon State 59, Portland 46. The Portland Pilots 29-4 on the season. 2 of those losses to Scott Rueck and your Oregon State Beavers.
That's right.
Also going for a three-peat in the WCC.
Also going for a three-peat in the WCC, which had not happened in a while. This is a pretty damn good program that was on the other side of things.
Portland will still make the tournament, right? 29-4.
I thought so, but in Charlie Cream's bracketology, which has, we'll probably talk about this, projecting a juicy matchup between Oregon State and Oklahoma, which has a player from last year's Oregon State teams. JP has a jersey that he will be rebranding probably. He doesn't have Portland, and it's bracketology, so whatever, but he's historically fairly accurate. Obviously it's not 100% every time. Nope.
I don't think anyone's going to make it.
I think it's a one bid league.
Yeah.
I think it's a one bid league, and we just
don't think it was strong enough.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think it's strong enough.
So we'll see.
If anything, I think Gonzaga would make it over UP anyways.
Yeah, they're the number 1 seed.
Yeah, they lost to the eventual champions,
right?
At the buzzer, versus what was a little bit more, hanging on to a dominant lead at some point, but.
Portland was for lack of a better term, annoying team.
They were annoying. They were very annoying today.
They were very annoying.
They are quite good. We did a good job of taking them out of their game. Our defense all game long was tremendous. Yeah, like the fact that we got off to such a slow start on offense. It was like 5 minutes into the game, and the teams had combined for 8 fouls, with 5 of them being on us. And it combined 0 for 12 shooting from the field. And then when we were down 13-7, I was like, oh shit, like a score like that. I mean, it's 6 points, but that's might as well be 12 with the pace of scoring. Yeah. And like how much like I was like the final score of this game is going to be like 59-46. I didn't say that exactly, but you could see this is going to be a 50s, 40s high score game probably. And we're running out of time. And then
speaking of time, wow, your timing.
And don't forget to take it.
That's the music playing me off, and I'll let Betty talk about the 20-2 run that we went on after that.
The 20-2 run was great. I mean, obviously that's where the game was won, right there. But let me ask you guys this. I saw this a lot on Twitter today. Would you guys say that this is Scott Rueck's best performance as the coach of Oregon State this year? No matter what happens in the tournament.
I guess yes, but with the evidence of the last, 3 weeks of basketball. Mm-hmm. I think this season is his best performance ever.
It's
certainly maybe up there with maybe any Cinderella-esque beating all the odds story that has maybe ever pass through college athletics.
Right. I think if you go back to, was it the day after we lost to South Carolina in the Elite Eight, when all the notifications that players were leaving?
It might have been the Monday after, but yeah.
Basically, like how they call it Bloody Monday in the NFL, the first Monday after the regular season where all the coaches get fired. It kind of felt, it was as downtrodden as that. The day it was official that the 6 top scorers were all leaving from the year before. That took a while
because I think Raegan was the last to go.
Right. I think at that point, doing anything of relevance the next season became the point where Rueck was at a spot where maybe no coach had ever been asked to do more. And I don't mean do more with less, because I don't want to diminish the players who are on this roster or the players came back. But yeah, just to do more, like, oh, you're just going to go back to the NCAA tournament when your team got gutted. Like, we just took everything away from you.
Gutted.
Like, now go be a tournament team again. And obviously it was a long road to get there. I think it's as impressive of a single season and impressive of a late season run as any coach has put forth in college basketball.
That's what makes it impressive. That's what makes it impressive, is the late season run is purely about getting buy-in, understanding strengths, weaknesses, making sure that you got the right players on the court at the right time, that you're coaching them through their learning experiences, especially if they're first timers getting a lot of playing minutes, and you're trying to make sure when it comes down to this kind of pressure and crunch time that they can deliver. You can't just look, Kennedy Schuler is an absolute talent. I will say that off the bat, but you can be that good and have to come off the bench, learn to be a starter, learn how to operate as a leader when you're thrusted into that role, and still had trouble, understandably still have trouble when the game is on the line and they're looking towards their leader and you need to get a bucket, right? Like, that is something that is confidence, and it is skill, and it is putting people in the right place at the right time. And that is brought out by legendary coaching, that does not happen in one season at this kind of scale ever. You might unlock one person, but to unlock an entire team that's either brand new to getting playing time, brand new to the program, and also all came in, let's be real, they want to win, but they saw the circumstances, especially the transfers. They saw what they were joining, which is the things that Rueck kept selling, of the culture, being a family. I'll coach you to be ready to play at the next level, right? Like, we're going to be involved as deep as we can in every season. All of that he preached and delivered, and they bought it back then, but they had to have known, yeah, that's what he's saying, and he might be able to pull off most of it. Like, treat me like a family. Cool. Make me feel wanted and appreciated. Absolutely. Put me in the right place at the right time. Definitely. Going deep into a season, that'd be great, right? No one was sitting there at the beginning of this season, especially how it started, and thinking everybody knew. There's no way. And that's all. No. It was all getting every player to gel, to glue together, to figure out how to pull what levers. I mean, dude, this is by far a testament to what Rueck's capable of, because I mean, even the 2 games prior to today, they could have given up. They could have had trouble, even if they wanted to, tried to, and Rueck pulled all the right strings, had everything against them for not playing together for more than 9 months, for not having any of the returning minutes getters. I think it was 7 minutes getters all left, and 6 of the top minutes getters left, and 6 of the top scorers left.
It was the top 6 scorers. AJ was number 7, And I think AJ was like 6 in minutes, maybe.
Yeah, and it was 6 of the top 7 minutes getters left, or 7 of the 8 minutes getters, whatever it was. Either way,
it was a lot.
So like to pull all that together in one season, to not just like pull out wins and go, oh, okay, we had a good season. I mean, like, not to say that I don't feel like the Oregon State men's team was a failure of a season either. I do feel like it's okay to compare that they were in very similar starting points from the season. They didn't start the season from the same end point, but they were in the same starting points this season. All their, hoop go-getters were gone. All of their reliable scorers were gone. One team fell from grace from the Elite Eight. One was obviously still hoping to build something, but they were pretty much at square one together.
Yep.
And I don't know if there's really any coach in college basketball that can do what Rueck just did, men's or women's, and take that point and go, no, we still believe we can go really far. No, we're pulling in players that believe in us as a staff and their teammates and that vision. And then we're going to give them the confidence to do it. We're going to make sure it happens this year and then deliver on it. I mean, it's like, I don't know if there's anything else that could be accomplished. I mean, other than a championship by Rueck, because to me, really what he just pulled off now, and I'm not trying to celebrate too early or pop the champagne bottles, is harder than being a top 10, 15 team and, dragging them to a championship.
And he for sure would have had a top 10 ranking entering the season had last year's just team said, all right, let's run it back. And easily. I think he'd tell you it wouldn't be the same challenge as a coach, as challenging of a coaching job. And we do have to mention one of those players he brought in, because it's about bringing in the right players who fit in with something like this. And that is one of arguably the biggest acquisitions, West Coast Conference Tournament MVP, Catarina Ferreira, who was incredible today, has been incredible all tournament, talked about, almost giving up on her career when she was leaving Baylor and like not having, not believing in herself that she could do it. And Rueck finding an underutilized player at a big program. I know Baylor hasn't been what it used to be, but still, and it's in a major conference. And just like kind of finding that, diamond in the rough and being able to put that player into a position to use, the maximum of her capabilities and get a tournament MVP. Kat was so good today. Anytime Portland missed a shot, all tournament, and has been growing all season. And like what you were mentioning, JP, it's like I was thinking about just, it's never a embarrassing thing to lose by a lot of points to UConn in women's basketball, but when they lost to UConn, it was 30 some points. They're 1-4, and it's like, well, this game could have been 29. Really fun. 29 points. Yeah. So I was like, this was like 19. A game that could have been for sure. We circle this and get really excited about it. But was that out? They got blown out by like Arizona State and Minnesota, like leading up to, like in that sort of same road trip.
Yeah. I mean, the Minnesota game was bad. I mean, the 73-38. And then Arizona State was 79-60. Then Illinois was 85-66. And then, UConn 71-52.
Right. Okay. So UConn was
not looking great.
UConn wasn't not looking great, but it's like, like I think that would have been a really fun early season non-conference schedule. Had a certain number of players returned, but
if we just had these players half of last season,
sure, had they been playing. Just to go through that, to have to take that many lessons on the chin consecutively and early and still show up.
Keep it up.
Keep and just be like, up. Hey, the other shoe's gonna drop. Like it's gonna be fine. Like we're gonna get past this. Yeah. And I don't know. I don't think I've been happier I don't think there's a team that deserves this more that I've watched.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how, if you're in the transfer portal or you're a high school senior or junior for that matter, you're not entertaining a conversation with Scott Rueck. I mean, he really does put these girls in the best position that they can be in on the floor. And I think mentally too, you just see his teams get progressively better as the year goes on. And that's not new this year. That's sort of his MO. This team was just left for dead in every single way possible that you could imagine being left for dead. Right. And I think the person that is celebrating this the most and has to feel the best about it, other than Scott Rueck, is AJ Marat. Like, she is the one out of sort of that core group that came back. And I think she's been as clear as you can be without coming out and saying it, that a lot of it had to do with being loyal to the program. And I think she probably went into the season feeling like there was probably a good chance that this team was going to be a shell of what they were last year. And so she came in with that. And I don't think she'd ever admit that, but with that sort of probable
as a silver lining, I'm guessing she probably felt at least I can leave some sort of like impact to the next generation. I can be here to be an example.
For sure. And I think that, like, I don't know, as an Oregon State fan, always loyalty was a big thing, right? Because you're just overshadowed by other programs. And I don't mean just Oregon, but like Washington, USC, UCLA, like you're overshadowed by other programs in the Pac-12. But loyalty has become so important to this program. Not just women's basketball, but Oregon State athletics in general, that I think people like AJ are going to be celebrated more so than what she may even know, right? Or could imagine at the beginning of the season, or when she made that decision of I'm going to stay at Oregon State. Like, loyalty is just celebrated so much at this university by its fans that she needs to get her flowers. And she played great too. Like that, it's not just the decision. Like, she's added a lot of value to this team. Right. It's so heartwarming to see that this team never quit. They were the ones. I mean, I think it's fair to say a lot of people in the Beaver fam probably didn't have a whole lot of faith that they're going to make it to the tournament when they were 1-5. No. But I think these girls did. I really do. I
don't think any of us did 3 weeks ago.
Mid-season. I
think we're like,
rattled off 10 of 12.
I'll be the first to admit we didn't talk about them enough this season. Yeah, because we can't blame them, but let's revel in the positive. And it just we didn't see this. I don't think anyone did.
Yeah. But no, I mean, there were shades of it. And I think actually Rueck put it best in his article. He was quoted by Dashville, the one you were talking about earlier, Terry. And he said, like, there were so many highs or ups and such high highs and such low lows. Like he didn't know what to make of it when he was trying to figure out what this team was going to be. Yeah. And I think that it now in hindsight, we're, growing pains and learning curves because of, again, what happened of having to have so many newcomers, to have so many people who came seeking, a second chance, essentially, of feeling revitalized in playing basketball, to have people who normally would have to earn their stripes, earn their minutes under a Rueck coach team and program, be thrusted into roles, leadership roles that they would usually ease more into. And I don't think it's unfair to say that, we all felt like this was probably a long shot, but again, if anyone was going to pull it off, it would be a Rueck-led program and the people he's brought into it. And what it is, I believe, I think it's 10-2 in the last 12.
12. Yep.
And one was the 3-point loss to St. Mary's. One was the overtime loss to Gonzaga. It is very, and there's the Wazoo loss and then the loss in overtime against UOP, but like, and a 2-point loss against USF. It is very, very, very likely that there was an alternate universe where they could have gone 15-0 to close the season.
For sure.
If you weren't paying attention to how hard this team competed and how much they grew this year, and just started to see the record maybe climb a little bit better, but also like hit some rough patches because you were looking at box scores, like they grew. And I think it was maybe a month ago or so, and I said that they're on a streak that I truly think that they will be a menace if they make it to the tournament. And I still stand by that because they have the coaching, they have the talent, and they've got the attitude.
No 2 or 3 seed is looking at this like, hey, we want those guys. No team wants to play OSU right now.
Well, I mean, that's the beauty of March, right? Is like because you have a lot of these schools. Women's college basketball is even more heavily weighted in the power conferences than men's college basketball is. So you're going to have the Big 12 and the SEC and the Big 10 get 7, 8, 9 teams in.
Big 10's probably getting 12.
Are they?
Which is absurd, but
so if you're and not all 12 of those teams are playing stellar basketball.
No.
Right? And so if you're one of those teams, like Oregon State is playing lights out. I think we've covered that. They're playing lights out right now. And so you get matched up with a team, even like a 3 or 4 seed that is sort of stumbled their way into the tournament. Like that is a recipe right there.
Or finished their conference tournament early with an early exit. Right. And now they have a lull.
Have a lot of time to sit on that L. Yeah, man. I don't know. Like this, that's what the beauty of March is all about.
Sure.
This isn't just about getting into the tournament. I think this team can make some noise.
Right.
And I think that even though they won the West Coast Conference tournament, they're going to be so overlooked, just like they were all season.
Yep.
And there's nothing to lose. Like you win the West Coast Conference tournament a year after your team gets gutted and you lose in the first round.
I think to us, I don't know. I think to us and the fans, they'll feel it. They have a lot to lose.
The external pressure of March, that's not gonna weigh on them at all. They don't give a shit. And I think
this team's gonna be playing loose.
I think this team will be playing loose. And I think from the moment Kelsey Reese's shot went in against USF, there's this kind of like that like team of destiny aura a little bit. Yeah. I don't always love the term team of destiny because people use it every season in every sport. I'm just like, all right, how many destinies are really out there? If everyone's calling itself a team, but it's like what we were talking about. So like, and what was mentioned after that was Kelsey Reese's lone field goal of that game. And Kelsey Reese has been an incredible player all year.
Her quote afterwards, her interview afterwards is perfect.
Just perfect.
Did you guys see what she said afterwards? She's like, I told myself, I'm paraphrasing, but I told myself that it might not be my game, but that doesn't mean I can't have my moment.
Right.
Oh,
and like
so that's a good quote just in general.
They're ready.
Yeah.
The perspective is there.
Yes, exactly.
Stay ready so you don't got to get ready. And no one really cares who got the shine. Like Kennedy didn't hit a shot from the field today, and it didn't matter. The way we don't win that game without her, the way she controlled the ball, the way she dealt with that full court pressure that Portland likes to unleash. It's not, Rueck has always had balanced teams, always, but anyone can pop at any time and hit a big shot at any time. And I won't be like, oh, it's a big time. It's tied up. We need someone to get a bucket here. You have to go to this person.
You know who we haven't talked about that I think we really need to give some props to is Heidi.
We do need to talk about Heidi.
She was such a game changer.
Yeah.
And coming off the bench too, like that, our bench had a hell of a game.
Absolutely.
Just in general today.
And she was getting called for some bullshit whole game.
We really beat 4 opponents with the 4th being the refs today. Like that was about as poorly called game as I've seen in basketball in a really long time. But yeah, you're right. She was really the person that was getting a lot of those calls against her when there was no call to be had there. But her action on the boards and her ability to get really good looks was really amazing to watch. It looked like she had a couple of real easy tip-ins there, but it was about positioning and her doing fundamentals, boxing out, getting position, and it made for some really easy shots. So,
right.
She was a huge difference maker today.
6 of 9 from the field, and I don't love doing the women's basketball to male basketball comps because I feel like people do them too much and they tend to get lazy, but I do think this one works. Her game today was a lot like when Roman Silva caught fire in 2021 on the men's team's Elite 8 run, where it was that first game of the tournament against Tennessee, and Silva's work down low was just working, and his touch was good, his footwork was good, and
effort galore.
They didn't have effort galore, and they didn't have an answer for Sela. And I do think that there's a chance that we may need to write a thank you note to the refs from today. Much later on, we'll let all this settle and we'll see what happens. But the way they managed and played in foul trouble was pretty damn impressive, and that's not really something you can practice. And I would need to – I admittedly didn't watch calls and everything that closely in the non-championship games of this season. I know Sela fouled out in the last minute, but defending without fouling when you're already in foul trouble is difficult. And we had a crew today that loved the whistle. And we had a lot of players that had to be like, I cannot foul right now. And Rueck's also in a position where like it's coming down to the wire. I can't take my guns off the floor. Mm-hmm. That's just something that only is gained by experience. And who knows? I hope we have refs that let all the teams play a little bit more looser and play some actual basketball.
I hope so.
And the play that when I really thought we were going to win the game, when I saw the ball go through the net, was AJ on that oop from, I think, Schimmel, that put us up 9, 47-38.
Where the girl for Portland bleeding from the mouth.
Hall was bleeding. But I saw AJ go down first. So I was like, I for sure, I heard the whistle, but it was a stop play because AJ goes down, Hall goes down. They both go down like a sack of bricks. And I thought it was an and one because years of watching basketball have led me to believe when you go up as a defenseless shooter, release the ball and it's in the air and you get drilled in the midsection, you generally go to the free throw line after that. That didn't happen. And, Trista Hall, who played a great game apart from that play, was bleeding from her mouth. And then they're like, we're going to go to the tape. And then it goes to commercial break. And that's when I texted you guys, was like, we're going to get fucked by this. Like, it's going to be like no basket, intentional flagrant on AJ Marat. Her career is over.
5 points off the board.
But then it came back. It was just like incidental contact. Like, let's just keep playing. And that was when, I really believed. I was like, we've got this. There's no way that we're giving up a 9-point lead here. But they defended without fouling when it mattered most. And everyone was a great, big, huge part of that.
Yep. I'm going to put my money when we're in Vegas on whatever team Oregon State is playing. You're welcome, Beaver Nation. Right. I will take the financial L on this just because I'm my sports gambling.
You're guaranteed to lose.
Addiction.
So atrocious.
My sports gambling is addiction.
Guys,
that's not funny. If you have a gambling problem, you should call God, how do I not know this by heart? It's on every fucking podcast all the time. 1-800.
Stop gambling.
It's a different number for every state, and they have to say every
Gambler
state.
is the national problem gambling helpline.
1-800-GAMBLER.
I don't have a
we're taking odds on how long it takes for them to answer. If you
is not winning,
unless Oregon State wins. I'm going to throw a 20 on Oregon State to run the table, and then I'll just stay in Vegas.
20
a
hundo. And then that's my retirement plan.
Turn your 100 or turn your 20 into more than 100 with Buffalo.
Yeah,
I might. I am gonna gamble with JP more this trip. And if it looks like if it looks like I'm bad luck, I'll leave you alone and not let my bad luck energy. But I'm going in optimistic.
No, I'm
just gonna rub your bleached head. Every time I place a bet,
I am gonna bleach it before we get there.
Yeah, when we were at the Vegas Bowl, that was the day the Vikings made the biggest comeback in NFL history when they were down 30. And then afterwards, it was like, dude, you have to bet on them to win the Super Bowl now. And I was like, you're right. So I did. And then they in the first round of the playoffs, they lose to Daniel fucking Jones and the Giants at home.
Dude, if I ever say bet on something, you have to do the opposite.
Okay, then don't tell me to bet on Oregon State to win the national championship. Don't tell me to do it.
Wait, wasn't Daniel Jones
bet on anybody else?
This was before this was when he was still. This was the game that got him that fat contract with the Giants.
Oh yeah.
So this was at the end of the 22 season.
Yeah,
we had just dismantled Oregon in the Civil War.
Hey,
it was a different time.
Went as a Viking.
Yeah,
time flies.
He didn't take a snap as a Viking.
Speaking of quarterbacks in the Minnesota Vikings, you guys want to guess how stoked Seattle is that they got Sam Darnold?
I think Seattle should be stoked. He's good. He's not going to win them a Super Bowl. And when I saw the numbers, I was like, good guy, nice guy, happy for them. Really happy. Like a nice guy. Really happy my team isn't paying him
His face is
that
so
much
small.
money.
Did you see what Geno Smith said today?
No. But wait, why is his face so small?
I don't know. I'm not a face doctor.
It's like this big.
Yeah, it is pretty small on his head.
Yeah,
probably because our offensive line couldn't protect him and it got smashed so many times last year.
No, you guys had like one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. He's gonna be screwed.
We signed 2 today. Well, but we had a bunch of guys get injured last year. That was a big problem.
That's what happened at the end of the year. Is why he was terrible. Right. And then he also had one of the best catching receivers in the NFL, and
he'll be
Seattle
fine.
Does not, and they just traded away
They traded away a bunch of people.
Geno Smith's quote was this: "I ain't gonna be nobody's backup. They can have the gingerbread man." How amazing is that quote?
That's pretty funny.
I would love that if Geno Smith said it about me for some reason.
Right. Well, I almost quoted Geno Smith when earlier I was thinking about just the state of Oregon State women's basketball, and I wanted to channel Geno Smith's vibes with. They wrote us off. We didn't write back though. Geno Smith is a very quotable quarterback. I like Geno a lot too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Good luck with the Raiders.
Yeah, I like a lot of players that previously played on the Seahawks.
Now that he's on a very easy to root for franchise like the Raiders.
When you know he's going to be successful, you know he's going to have a fair shot, you know he's going to be treated well at that kind of franchise.
Exactly. You know all the personnel decisions will be sound and well thought out. It's
maybe I'll just get a Mark Davis haircut before we go to Vegas.
You should. I always joke. Annie and I always joke that Mark Davis's haircut always looked like Addie's paw fur at the tip of her paw.
His haircut looks like it's straight from like the 14th century.
Man,
we kneel to you, Lord.
Wait, so how do we? Mark Davis kind of looks like the gingerbread man.
Mark Davis is the gingerbread man.
No, he looks like a deteriorating gingerbread man.
He does.
That got soaked in milk for too long.
In the same path as his father, of showing up in like Band-Aids and his face falling apart.
But Al lived to be what, like into his late 90s. Al looked like he was dying for a long time, and that fucker just kept showing up and kept wrecking shit in the NFL. I don't think Mark Davis is going anywhere anytime soon. Anyway,
Al Davis died at the Hilton Oakland Airport Hotel. I did not know that.
Whoa. Airport Hotel?
Yeah. And not just any, the Oakland Airport, which is now the San Francisco Bay Area Oakland International.
Oh, it's like the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Yeah. For now, they've been sued. I think they're changing the name again. They changed that to try to be like, well, we serve the whole Bay Area, not just Oakland.
Man, Oakland has some problems.
They're like, their airport has too many syllables. That's the main problem.
But their airport is dope. It's easy.
Is it?
It's an easy little airport, yeah.
I like SFO. I got delayed there for a while. Yeah.
It's kind of a shit show though at times, but
right.
You go to Oakland or San Jose, it's easy breezy.
Dude, I stayed in San Jose. I kind of like it. I kind of like San Jose.
Well, it's the biggest city in California, I believe.
Right.
Like land wise?
Population wise,
like population
bigger than LA.
Population,
or is LA just because it's all the
population, city proper population. Yeah. It has more people than Los Angeles proper.
I like the South Bay, man. I really did.
Isn't San Jose part of? Isn't San Jose still part of San Francisco Metro for population?
It's part of the Bay Area, the close vicinity Bay Area that people from the Bay Area that are within those regions, consider to be Bay Area. There are people outside of the Bay Area, like Tracy, Stockton, and otherwise that consider that Bay Area, and it's not because they're on the Delta and not the Bay Area. But it's still Bay Area.
Delta fucks.
And I believe it's like the first non-San Mateo County city south of San Francisco, and San Francisco's its own county.
Okay.
I'm trying to confirm that now live. Yeah, it's Santa Clara County. Okay. So I guess Santa Clara probably is part of that, but they're all kind of like starting in the same spot.
I also have to give it props. Also really like San Carlos. San Carlos is pretty cool.
San Carlos is cool now. It used to be real sleepy when I was a kid. It was just like bakeries and nail salons and dry cleaners. Hey. And now it's like trendy restaurants and real fancy.
Are there any other municipalities that you'd like to shout out, Benny?
Yeah, fuck Belmont.
I know.
I just drove through Belmont.
As long as it's JP will be okay with you complimenting any place in the world as long as it's not Belmont or Seattle.
Dude, it was so crazy because I've for as much as I've been on like the different places on the West Coast, I have not been to San Francisco hardly at all. The last time I was in San Francisco was for your bachelor party.
And was that your first time?
That was my first time.
This was your first and only time
in San Francisco. And so I was driving down the freeway, and I'm just like, oh, I've heard JP talk about that city. Oh, there's Redwood City. I've heard JP talk about that city. Oh, San Carlos. Oh, there's San Mateo. It was cool.
Yep.
It was like just driving
they're all back to back.
Yeah,
all the way up the 101.
Yeah, Daly City.
Did you listen to Andre? Did you listen to Andre Nicotina while you were speeding like a demon on 101 South?
But you were going north.
I was going north, but at first I went south. But you're right. I was with Redwood City, then San Mateo, then San Carlos.
Yeah.
Right.
I was going north.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Going about
if anyone needs a tour.
Well, this concludes our women's basketball hard-hitting analysis. No, for real. Shout out Scott Rueck. Shout out AJ Murat. Shout out Kelsey Reese. Shout out Kennedy Schuler.
How deep
shout
are they
out
going?
Catarina Ferreira.
Well, did you guys see what the bracketology had?
Yeah. Well, we mentioned that briefly. I guess we can get into this. I mean, it's bracketology, but it's a science, what they have right now is what is a science. I did say Charlie Cream, who does the bracketology for ESPN, is historically very accurate. Right now has Oregon State as a 14 seed against the Oklahoma Sooners and Raegan Beers in Norman for the first round.
With a potential second round matchup with whom?
Michigan State.
Or UNLV.
Or UNLV.
Lawsuits, snakes, and beers. Oh my!
You're digging pretty deep into like finding like where UNLV has like personally wronged us, but I appreciate it. I appreciate
Rebel
it.
girls, right? Snakes and beers.
Michigan's. Yeah, I wouldn't at this point. Nothing would surprise me. And Oklahoma is a very good team, but I'd pick them in the bracket for sure. I just said I'm going to bet money on them to win the championship. So I guess
but how far do you realistically think they'll go?
I mean, all right, you're asking me to put
what round are they out in?
You're asking me to put a different hat on here.
Yeah,
it's always risky to answer first on this podcast. for things like
Benny's going.
Here, I'm going to say they. I'm going to say they. I do know where Betty, pick them to lose, please. You just mentioned how shitty you are at doing this.
Dude, I think I will say that. I think they get knocked out in the first round, but I still think it's a success story.
I will say, and I'm saying this with my heart and not my head, but with a little bit of my head. I think they win in the first round and then the magic runs out in the second. That's what I would predict right now.
I think that's realistic. I think in my head, I think getting to the round of 32 is highly likely.
Highly likely.
Yeah, likely. I do think, though, there's still a very good chance if they get to 32 that they'll get to 16. I think 16 is where you realize you've been playing better than anyone expected, but you're not deep enough at this point to beat essentially the other 15 best teams.
Right.
So I would say 32 is realistic to me and 16 is plausible, but I'll put my money on at least getting to 16.
This puts them, if it was this seeding exactly, they'd be in the region where USC is the number 1 seed. And I know a lot of Beaver fans would want that game, but you'd have to get to the Elite Eight. You'd have to get to the Elite.
Where do we match with UCLA?
We'd have to make to Final Four.
Okay, we're going to the Final Four.
And South Carolina in the championship as the team.
Here's what I would say is like a 14-3.
Let's go to Benny to bring some reasonable thoughts into this. This isn't for the first time ever.
A 14-3 upset is highly unlikely. So this would be my suggestion to the Beaver fam is enjoy this. Like, you made it to the tournament.
Okay,
there is more than a week left until the first game. This is like, truthfully, this is exciting.
This is very exciting.
No one thought this team was going to make it this far. So regardless of if they get knocked out in the first round, if they make it to the round of 32, that's a massive win. If they make it to the Sweet 16, make the 30 for 30 right now. That would be incredible. I'm not saying this team can't do it. I think they can. Yeah. I think it's unlikely.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it depends how much magic is left.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't know how much of what they've done is magic at this point. That's why I lean towards them being able to pull that off, because Rueck said it himself again, like he didn't know what to make of the team because of the ups, because of the downs, and it was like a roller coaster, either direction. So could they be that great? He thinks they are. I mean, he said himself. But again, like I think experience, depth, overall, no offense in my word choice, but like piecemealed teams that have been growing together for multiple years under the same program and coach, maybe have just an upper hand. But it doesn't mean, I think getting to 16 left means, you're up for the challenge. And like it's coming versus like you're one of 64. And so are they. Like,
and someone's going to win this thing. Why not us?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Rueck, and not to skip past this year because there's still a lot of excitement, clearly, but I'm wondering if like the uncertainty of last year, right? Like all we knew is that we were going to be playing in the West Coast Conference. And I don't even know if that was super clear when recruiting first started or the transfer portal first started. Maybe it was.
It was clear. It was clear in January.
Yeah, that's right. Year. Okay. But now that we know, okay, we have one more year left in the WCC, but the year after that, we're playing in a conference
with Gonzaga.
That could be really good. Well, with Gonzaga
and other teams.
And like I'm a bit embarrassed to say I don't know how some of the teams that are juggernauts in men's basketball fare in women's basketball, but it is going to be a basketball centric conference. Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah.
So I think, Scott Rueck, I think is a top 5 coach in women's college basketball, but I think it's easy for somebody who's in the transfer portal or a senior in high school to overlook that and say, well, they're playing the WCC. I think Rueck's job gets significantly easier once the Pac-12 starts.
Agreed.
But I also think a lot of that is perceptual on living through the moment of how that felt maybe as a demotion versus looking at it as a clean slate, new recruit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of incredible players that go play in the WCC.
Yeah, so it's the old adage: you sell high, you buy low, and I think the everyone who left sold high, and they saw the dip coming, and now you've hit the bottom, and you're going back up, and it's an enticing sell by Rueck.
Coach Rueck's ringing doorbells and repeating to himself in his head, "Sell high, buy low, sell high."
And can I just say, hey, look, now's the time to buy. We've talked about it before, but for whatever reason, when Oregon State won the WCC, there was like a lot of internal animosity that I had towards people that left the program. And I know we said like they left for their own reasons. Like you have to look out for number one. Fuck that. Like, honestly, fuck that. It's about loyalty to this program. I don't have loyalty towards them. And if they don't have loyalty to this program, then they mean nothing to me. And I think it would be fucking amazing if we match up with Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I think it would be fucking amazing if we matched up with USC. And I hope we beat the fuck out of them. Like, I would be looking forward to that. And I think that it's unfair to put all the animosity towards Dame, but give these people a fucking slack in the leash. Like, fuck that. They left the program, and we were able to do it without them. And I don't know why the animosity came up watching this game, but it really did. Like we did it without you. Yep. Fucking farewell. Yeah. And I hope we beat your ass in the tournament.
Yeah.
And that's the way that I feel about this. So I hope we get matched up.
Well, I mean, I think some of that comes with the fact that we, got to a point where we'd hoped we would be again without the players that we hoped would take us there.
Yeah.
And now it feels like, I'm not mad at you about leaving still. I feel mad that I thought you were the reason we got there.
Yeah.
And now I'm mad that you might think that you were the reason we got there.
Yeah.
And you parlayed us into a better situation. But look, you maybe didn't add that much to the current situation when you were at Oregon State then. If we're able to pull this off because, again, of the program that Rueck's built. All credit has to go to him. And I'm okay in some regard with players leaving and acknowledging that. That's a program that made me who I am. And I just felt like personally I had to make a leap that in my head felt better than what I was at. I can't argue with somebody's, thought process around that, even if I disagree with their outcome of their decision. But no one really did that. I would say there were a couple players, of course, who like hung around and they, showed up at team events to celebrate the team. Clearly were bought in more to the culture of the program. Like postseason, they were there for their little, banquet dinner. I would put Raegan. Honestly, I would love to beat Raegan. I actually love Raegan. I thought she was an incredible ambassador for our school. I thought she was an amazing basketball player for Oregon State. I don't give her a pass for leaving.
We all know who we're the most frustrated with.
Yeah, but I don't give her a pass for leaving. And if we match up with her, I want to kick her ass because she's not a Beav now, and it'll be interesting to see how much that storyline motivates the players. I think that
I really hope we match up with USC. I'll just say I really fucking hope we match up with USC.
Well, I mean the way that it all came down, and I'm not trying to spread rumors that haven't been heard before because everyone's heard this, but like what it all came down to was there was one player who had a team meeting and we all thought, okay, there's going to be like we're holding, down the fort. We're going to make this work. Instead, it was the one player who left first
and trolled fans.
And then the dominoes dropped one after another. And until, again, to remind everybody who maybe because and I'm trying to do this in protection because I feel like Raegan, if we do match up with her, especially the first game, could be an easy target because she was our best player. Yeah. But again, she was the last to leave. And
I hold less animosity towards her than some of the other players.
From by all accounts that I've gathered, did not want to, but obviously had enough noise in her ear to decide to, or had less of a commitment to the program to decide to. Could go either way. And eventually did. But she was the last to leave. And it's not like you're waiting to see who transfers in at that point. You are waiting to see who leaves. And as everyone kept leaving, maybe she didn't feel like she had a choice. But it makes what AJ and everybody else who stuck around even more impressive.
Yeah. Because I look, I'm with you. Like, you put yourself in the shoes of someone like Raegan. Now, I'm not putting myself in the shoes of other people, but Raegan, where you are a WNBA talent for sure.
Yeah, you're all American,
and you don't want to be there, holding the bags of a program that lost all their start. Like, I get why she made that move. I don't like it. And I do have animosity towards the when it comes down to it, it is lack of loyalty to the program. Yeah. I get why she did it, but it's lack of loyalty to the program.
It's not that there's no loyalty to the program.
You're right.
But the level of loyalty didn't exceed the level of desire to seek, maybe situations you felt were better for yourself.
Right. And I think it's always difficult in team sports to see somebody put themselves first before the team that you're cheering for. I think when it really comes down to it, right. But I think when it really comes down to it, I don't know what I would do. Right. Like, I don't know what I would do, but I know that I cheer for Oregon State, and these players are leaving Oregon State to chase what they perceive as better for them. So that's where the frustration comes in. And I think that's why this team making the tournament is just such a feeling.
Was that better? Was that really better for you? Right?
You have a right
question yourself a little bit now.
You have a right to be frustrated with a team that was going to come into the year with a top 10 ranking.
Yeah.
Choosing to dissolve. Mm-hmm. Even amid the circumstances,
or that
weren't fair,
or given a heads up that it was gonna dissolve, so get out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
that takes
tough,
me back.
But I'd say don't be petty and fun and celebratory and victorious on social media.
Yeah.
Don't be gross. And
of course we're not going to be gross. No. I do think that there's a double standard though, where Dame got a fuck ton of hate and there's not that being given to this.
Oh, I disagree with that a little bit. Go back to the mentions and dude, let's not pretend
that was because one player was trolling Beaver fans. Dame never trolled Beaver fans.
I think that's
a fuck ton of hate.
I think that's a chicken
Don't say that
thing.
Oh, okay.
No, I think a lot of I think that's the state of social media today. I don't think it's our fan base specifically, but a lot of people were getting a lot of unnecessary messages.
I think there's one person
that I agree. If a player leaves your team, I don't think you should slide into their messages and call them whatever the fuck you want to.
No.
I don't think that's behavior.
We're not adults. We are not condoning that.
But it sounded like you were getting dangerously close to condoning that, Benny, and I just wanted to.
What? How did it sound like I was getting dangerously close?
No, you said Dame got stuff that the women's basketball players didn't, and I disagree with that.
It's a double standard.
Yeah, Dame did get stuff that the women's basketball team didn't.
They all got a ton of vile shit thrown their way on social media. I don't think Dame got
his reasoning though is that Dame didn't go on social media and start taunting.
No, Dame didn't say shit. And I appreciate that aspect of it.
Yeah. If anything, he's even in his turning pro note was very clear about appreciation for his time at Oregon State. So
I think
we'll see if that comes to fruition for other players.
Right. Yeah. And what I was trying to say is that people, when Dame left, was like, he has no loyalty. I thought he was staying. I thought this was all about Oregon State. And when the core group of girls left, it was like, well, we understand why they're doing it because we're going to the WCC.
I think that's you can find those. There's people who are saying that about Dame though too. There's appreciative.
I don't know about that.
There were.
Well, it's something. I apologize. I got us on this road to negativity. We just won the West Coast Conference. I shouldn't be mad, but I wanted to share.
It's right.
If we match up with an ex player, let's kick their ass. I think that is the thing.
That is the message.
Yeah.
And I would enjoy
the hell of that. If you don't root for us to kick their ass, then check your Beaver fandom card.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to get in an argument with the Bachelor boy right before his bachelor party. So,
I'm just telling you, people were mad. People were hot. There has never been a positive thing said on Twitter. So, therefore, everyone received a shitload of negativity.
All right, but let's move on.
Okay. And everyone, each their own. If you like the players, you want to root for the players, root for the players. But if you're rooting for the Beavs, then you're rooting for us to destroy all our opponents, even if they're ex-players.
Yes.
Right. And that's always fun.
Yeah. You're always fun.
I booed the fuck out of Stephon Marbury when he came back to Target Center as a member of the New Jersey Nets.
Oh,
because he demanded to be traded.
Oh man,
that's what happens. This is it's part of sports. It was just you didn't have access back then to
yell at them on Twitter
or well they're off social media, but I found their aunt and I'm gonna. That kind of shit.
If you would have seen the videos of him eating Vaseline, you would have changed your ways.
I know, but that was way later. That was after his Nets, Suns, and Knicks era.
What about the Shanghai Sharks?
I love Marbury. Now we've come around.
Who was the one that was eating straws?
What?
Yeah, there was an NBA player that loved eating straws, and he was like McDonald's makes the best straws. You don't remember this?
They must be talking how sturdy they are or something.
No. Nope. They ate them.
Speaking of Speaking of eating, did you guys see tonight? I couldn't tell who it was. Somebody on the baseball team had an arm or elbow protector, and on the strap it said like, I don't know, heater state. So not eater, but heater state. And I kind of liked that for the Beavs.
Heater state. Oh, because the Beaver state.
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
And they bring me your best shot.
Because we got 6 guys who can throw fucking 1,000 miles.
No, they were batters.
Oh.
There should be a pitcher that has a little elbow band that says heater state.
Tell me why they have that. Somebody needs to explain it. I kind of get it, but I also have to convince my brain that it makes sense.
Baseball, the baseball is a sport where you can do whatever you want. Where it's like the aforementioned Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim had the rally monkey, and it was like, why a monkey?
No, don't talk
for the Angels. I'm sorry. They burned us in the ALCS too, JP. They killed me too.
But they burned us in the World Series.
So so they burned us and then burned you. It's not that different. But anyway, it was like, hey, here's a fun monkey.
Series, Terry.
I understand that. And I won't say his name because I don't like him either, but there was a thong in the San Francisco Giants locker room that held quite a bit of reverence. Baseball is a sport where you can just be like, hey, this is the home run bucket. When you hit a home run, you kick the bucket as hard as you fucking can, and we all go, yeah.
And then baseball, you throw it over your head and walk around with it. We can't see anything for a whole inning.
Yeah, baseball's the most unhinged in the most fun way. So if they want to say heater state, because heater doesn't rhyme with beaver, but
kind of. Eminem can make it rhyme.
Yeah, and that's why they call it window pane. It's fine. It's fine with it. It makes a lot more sense if the pitchers are doing it. But
if pitchers are going to wear elbow guards,
that's like the pitcher wearing an elbow guard that has a going yard written on it. That's a batter's thing.
Unless you're they're can hit them out.
Confusing.
That's what I thought it.
Yeah,
heat seekers.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen Eminem try to rhyme words with orange?
Is that a YouTube video? Is it on YouTube?
Probably. Yeah, I think it is. It's really good.
Probably is. Everything's on YouTube, even us.
Yeah.
We are. Really though, give us a subscription. You don't have to tune in every week just because it pings you. But if you love us, just go on your YouTube that you don't use and just hit subscribe.
Or if you hate us, subscribe too. That also works.
Nothing better than a hate subscribe. It feels good.
Every online engagement is a form of support. So we thank you.
Well, yeah. Or a form of revolt. If you just hate us, subscribe. You'll feel so good. Ha!
Yeah.
These guys have me who hates them subscribing.
Right. I'm subscribing as a bit. Everyone knows I'm doing this ironically.
It's an anti-subscribe, but it's still a subscribe.
As it is now, we're closing in on 10 p.m. Pacific time. Is the Oregon State versus Washington State baseball game over yet? Are we up 35 to 1 at this podcast? Well, you still have the internet. You just looked up a million things 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, you're right.
11-3. We won. What was the final? I'm scrolling. I always go to.
I don't know.
15-1.
That was what it was then. It's 15 that way.
15-1. Okay, so that puts Oregon State on a 5 game.
We had a big inning.
4-0.
At least a 6-run inning, if not a 9-run inning. Yeah, we broke it open.
6 or 9.
That was in between.
Two totally random numbers.
Yeah.
Either way, it was noise.
Yeah, that was in between trying to get kids upstairs to go to sleep or putting them to sleep. But
what do you guys make of this baseball team?
No, you will go to sleep.
Honestly, I was a little nervous. With it was a weekend sweep, but it was a weekend sweep against a very bad San Diego team.
Hey, I knew you were going to ask this, Benny. I actually did, and I have a question prepared for you. Is San Diego above or below the Mason-Dixon line?
That automatically does make them better.
The further south you go, the better the team gets.
Right. I fucking stand by that.
Right. So it's a great sweep.
They are south of the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah.
Do we know that for sure?
Well, I don't know if I don't think the Mason-Dixon line goes to the West Coast.
Well, it should.
For intents and purposes.
If it did.
Just imagine it does.
Take a North American perspective on the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah. Just squint your eyes and pretend that it does go to the West Coast. But San Diego was like 2-10 going into the series. It was very bad. We swept them, but it was a walk-off, and I think one of the other games was
But we swept them. That's baseball.
I agree. A sweep is a sweep, but it did make me a little nervous, especially given how we performed the weekend before.
I just tried to find a notable baseball alumni from the University of San Diego, and the first person who came up was Tony Gwynn. So I was about to be like, Tony Gwynn went there. And then I remembered he went to
San Diego State.
He went to San Diego State. I forgot to include university in the search, so it just it was just San Diego baseball.
Bryant.
So I just got a bunch of famous Padres.
Chris Bryant went to
Chris
USD.
Bryant went there. Nice.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he's good at baseball and hot. So there you go.
Oh,
yeah, he's like one of those combo baseball players who, like, everyone's like, oh, he's married, and then also he's good.
Not when he's on the road, though.
Yeah, and not when he was really a giant.
Fired. Wasn't he? He was on the Cubs World Series team, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. He was a youngster.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was
living in Chicago when that happened. That was cool.
I thought he was washed when he came to the Giants, and he still has a
he was like 26 years old. Gross. Yeah, he's still in the league, right?
Is he with the Rockies?
I agreed to be in a fantasy baseball league for the first time in a while, and I should probably know if Chris Bryant is still in the league or not. If I'm going
to talk about doing one.
We did talk. We can still do it. We've got time until opening day.
Yeah, I want to do it. But we do have to have more than just 3 people.
No, we don't.
We don't. We can just own multiple teams and do reality baseball.
We could do. we could all have 10 teams, and it'd be. And Benny, you can have the expansion team, Portland, whatever's. And
what would you call them?
Ooh,
not the Beavers, not the Mavericks.
I wouldn't want the Beavers, not the Mavericks.
Oh shit! I forgot Chris Bryant was MVP his second season.
The Portland Chris Bryants. The Portland. This is a trope I need, because when I said the WNBA team should be the Portland Fighting Jackie Styles, and I don't
Chris
think
Bryant
the WNBA is going to go for that.
From Vegas, so maybe we'll run into him.
Maybe we'll see him.
Maybe he'll be there. Spring training.
He'll probably be at spring training, but maybe he'll be getting hammered in Vegas. Maybe he has an off day. I don't know, Benny. I need to think.
Come
on the spot.
Portland Wet Sox.
It's too close to White Sox. I like it though. If it was a AA team, I'd do it. Major League needs to be a little bit classy.
Wet.
The Portland Wet.
Like the Heat.
Yeah.
Portland
with no S. That'd be one of the teams that has no S.
My head just thought Portland Rain, but I think that's too soft.
Yeah, it is too soft.
Yeah,
you bitch. Fuck you,
Terry. That's boring.
Portland just has nothing going on ever. What do you
Portland tense?
Portland weirds.
They keep Portland weird.
Portland
weirds.
No S.
F or T.
Be unique.
Terry's not loving where this conversation.
I don't know. I don't know. Portland something.
Portland taxes.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Baseball owners would love that shit.
Baseball owners would love that shit. Portland Bridge something.
Oh man.
This is what happens, dude. Portland Bridge fuckers. There we go.
Yeah.
The Portland Bridge fuckers.
Yeah.
The Portland Bridge fuckers.
Go
See?
fuckers.
Portland Fire on the Mountain. Portland Portland. Yeah.
No, that's my Little League
Chicken
team.
Wangs.
Was a WNBA team named after Fire on the Mountain when they named them the Portland Fire?
Probably.
I do like that.
Which one was there first?
I think Fire on the Mountain. I think Fire on the Mountain's been there a while.
Oh,
maybe
not since
the 90s.
Yeah,
yeah, because it was the Fire were early aughts, I believe. It was like 2001 to 2003. Not a long time.
Fire was such a stupid name. I'm sorry.
Well, it's because they all were trying to match their NBA teams.
Is there a way?
Yeah,
you're right.
Blazers, Fire, different kind of Blazers.
But the Blazers aren't like Fire.
What was the
Blazers.
Sacramento team? They were the Kings, and then you had the
Monarchs.
Monarchs, yeah.
Monarchs, yeah. The Monarchs.
Houston Comets.
Yeah. Again, they tried to match. They tried to match.
Right. Well, that's
I don't know how the Comets don't exist.
That's
Terry broke that news.
Fire on the Mountain didn't start until summer of 2003.
Oh,
you guys know what Fire on the Mountain is named after?
A song.
I'm guessing a Fire.
A Great Dead song.
Oh,
yeah.
The Portland. The Portland band. The Portland Dead.
Oh, the Portland Deadheads.
Oh no, please! That sounds too real.
We'll workshop. Listeners, send us your names for the
Portland soon-to-be MLB
the soon-to-be realistic Portland MLB team. And
renderings look great.
Stadium porn always looks great.
And my Little League team sponsored by Fire on the Mountain. Shout out to Fire on the Mountain.
Oh,
yeah.
All things called Fire on the Mountain.
We're the Ghost Peppers.
So good.
Portland Ghost Peppers.
Oh, no way.
Oh, Portland Peppers?
That's I gave him the name.
Portland
Peppers.
I'm only half joking about that. Alliterative names are kind of gimmicky, but whatever. Portland Peppers.
Portland Peppers.
Yeah, we go Peps.
Let's go Peps.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. We're spicy.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, man, there's so much you could do with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Woo.
Anyway,
I'm going to sell so much merch to all the parents.
So I have a completely unrelated question before we get out of here, but I want your guys' take on it.
Okay.
It's funny because I think it was the last episode where we were talking about the movie Belly starring Nas and DMX, which is essentially just a music video. And I was surprised that you guys hadn't seen it. And the next day, I literally was listening to my other favorite podcast after the Belligerent Beavs, of course, All Fantasy Everything. And the topic they were drafting was things we've lied about knowing. And one of the lies someone told on that was lying that I had seen Belly these last 20 years because it's a movie that gets referenced on the podcast a lot. And then I was like, that's really fun. And then I just started thinking, I was like, well, I mean, it stars Nas and DMX. So I feel like JP and Benny would be interested, but obviously not as interested as Benny would be if Kendrick was in it, and not as interested as JP would be if E40 was in it. And then after that, I just started thinking of different movies, swapping out the star of the movie with E40 and what that would look like. And so my question is, if you could pick one movie, and I'll say this slowly so you can start thinking, where you could swap out the lead or any character, really. It doesn't have to be the lead character, but I think lead character is most fun. With E40, what movie would you choose?
Taken.
Frozen.
Great answers. My answer to my own question was Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah, that's
I
good
think
too.
E40 as Ebenezer Scrooge would be amazing.
The more that he can talk, the better.
E40 and Frozen is incredible.
Yeah, he'd just be frozen because of his chain.
Mm-hmm.
It's
so icy.
Yeah, and then all the songs would be so good.
E40 songs.
Yeah.
E40 as Liam
Let
Neeson.
It go.
Yeah. The cold never bothered me.
Yeah.
E40 saying he has a very specific set of skills. Liam Neeson.
E40 hunting down the people that kidnapped his daughter would be.
As he has like a toothpick hanging out of his mouth with his small glasses, like right at the end of his nose, just like
not.
I have a particular set of skills.
Not moving.
They're all rapping.
Not moving with any urgency whatsoever, but still catching up to these guys that are like flying through traffic. That's a perfect movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
E40.
Like laying hell low in his seat, like.
Or Home Alone.
Yeah.
That would be another good one. E40 and Home
E40
Alone
as Kevin McAllister.
That would be great.
That would be good. I'm going to put that in a Sora.
E40 as anyone in Home Alone would be pretty great. But Kevin...
Joe Pesci.
The movie just ends when Uncle Frank tries to say, "Look what you did, you little jerk," and E40 just ends Uncle Frank. So they can't get their parents because Kevin just killed Uncle Frank.
Yeah.
The end. We all hated Uncle Frank.
Yeah, and then 40 water became not like a beverage that I think it's a malt liquor beverage, but instead it became milk.
Yeah, that they spill on the pizza, which is insane.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And then
I thought you were going to say toilet punch that Kevin would have to brew in jail.
Earl's, and then they sold pizza that they doused in milk first, and it became the biggest hit nationwide.
Jesus.
Milk pizza.
Mm-hmm.
That's gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
Whatever.
Don't hate it till you
right.
try it.
Like, I mean, there is, cheese is essentially a form of milk. Yeah.
It is milk.
Just
bad
hardened.
milk.
Yeah.
Cheese is bad milk. That's why the Packers stink.
Suck.
Dude, have you seen everybody's like, we don't want Aaron Rodgers?
Dude, it's been...
In the Seattle Times, it was like Seahawks dodge signing Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Seahawks...
Sam Darnold's small face is dead.
The Seahawks are paying Sam Darnold $110 million to not be Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Dude, this has been such a good sports day because of the Beavs, but also I feel like the Vikings have been killing it. I'm sorry for you guys, but if this has been such a good sports day for me, but it would be completely ruined if the Vikings signed Aaron Rodgers. So I just need him to sign somewhere so I can be like, fuck that guy. Have fun.
Dude, there's no way
Pittsburgh.
the Vikings ownership would do that.
I don't think they
would. Yeah.
The whole point right now is to put a team around a quarterback on a rookie contract.
Because he's not going to win you guys a Super Bowl.
No.
And it would be such an unpopular decision by the.
Well, you could bridge the entertaining, even though if you hate it.
It might be the only quarterback to get booed by his home crowd for not playing bad.
I think we'd start cheering for him pretty quickly, honestly, if he started winning. That's how it happens in life, but I would hate it. I wouldn't have fun.
Sign yet?
I don't think Jameis. I'd sign Jameis
in conversations with the Niners.
No way.
Yeah.
He's the funniest NFL player. I don't know if he's the best quarterback, but he is so funny.
he's not the best quarterback. But
he's actually maybe the most serviceable backup. Yeah, he's the most serviceable backup maybe in the NFL. Yeah. And that's willing to take a backup role. And when I told the Manny Bay earlier about it, he was like his face. I don't know if I've ever seen it light up more talking about, free agency when I said the Niners are in conversations with Jameis Winston. And he was like,
he's a big Jameis fan.
Oh yeah. He's watched all the Jameis interviews on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah. He does that. He did that playing like touch football with his friends after school one day on their nice turf field. Those eating W's, Mike.
I forget what he even said when he did that, but it was so.
I think he just said, "I'm going to eat a W," and then he
we're hungry. We're going to eat a W tonight. We're eating W's or something, and just started to eat his fingers shaped as a W.
I don't think CTE is ever a thing to joke about, but a meme that I saw on Twitter or something or Instagram, someone posted a video of Jameis doing something crazy recently, and the caption was Jameis Winston has the fun kind of CTE. And I was like, that's fucked up, but I think that just very accurately captured this experience.
Also, let's not forget that he was accused of sexual assault by multiple people in college. That's true. He was going to the NFL.
Wait, was it that, or was it that he yelled?
He was accused of sexual assault and also got in trouble for all the other things, and then had the character concerns for the things he was caught on. But he was accused and it's settled about sexual assault.
I think the F him right in the P thing that he yelled in a crowded quad was happening concurrently with the sexual assault allegations, which not to diminish, but also shows like a pretty stunning lack of judgment.
Yeah.
But, so it's been it's been
not saying that it's okay that he did one thing because he's 18, but the lack of judgment. I think he was 18 years old.
That was,
I think
that was all college and it settled. And then
we all remember that we had no judgment.
We did.
Yeah.
No. And it didn't stop him.
Not that bad.
From being he was still the number one pick in the draft. And then, how the NFL forgives. But yeah.
For certain things.
So for certain things. And not for other things. In regards to Niners quarterbacks. Fun note to end on. Do we need to have another E40 talker to get out of here on a lighter note?
No, let's just end it.
Let's just end it. Let's just end everything. Let's just end the whole pod. Well, this has been the 175th episode of the Belligerent Beavs podcast.
Dang, we're 25 away from 200.
Wow. 25 away from 200.
At this rate, it'll be next year.
That is a lot. At this, hey, we haven't taken our prolonged break ever since that one summer that we took off. So we take a week off here, a week there. If the baseball team decides to start struggling after women's basketball's run, I might be like, hey, let's go to the Bahamas.
Fall.
Let's go to the Bahamas for the next 6 months.
Fishing.
But yeah, this has been the Belligerent Beavs podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard or didn't, either way, please like and subscribe, rate and review. Spotify, Apple, wherever. There's nothing better than a good old hate subscribe. That's what the internet's for. Engaging with things you hate. That's what we're all here for, right?
Makes you feel good.
At Bellig Beavs on Twitter, at Belligerent Beavs, pretty much everywhere else on Blue Sky. At belligebeavs.bsky.gobeavs.app.
Belligerentbeavs.gobeavs.app.
Belligerentbeavs.gobeavs.app. So many dots. It's like it's like my email address.
Dots are the new underscores.
Watch the new underscores. More underscores than JP Bertram, who's here. At the Trial J on Twitter. That's at the _Trial_J. Because he's too true to be real. Which the first man on Twitter to utilize the underscore. That was you.
Yeah.
You were the first person on Twitter after Ocho Cinco for a week or so.
Him and I
it was just you guys. A lot. Yeah, it was a good time. That's when
we were updating each other that we were at lunch or at class,
smoking cigars.
Right.
Yeah.
Watching Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
At JP Bertram on Instagram and pretty much wherever else. And also, that man who's yawning almost made it a minute shy. Benjamin Lawrence Sebastian Weekhage, a.k.a. Benny with the good cough, a.k.a. Benny Bowl Game, a.k.a. Benny Blastoff, a.k.a. Benny Bedlam, because he's fucking crazy, folks. The mayor of El Paso. Not sure how that one just popped up, but I haven't shout out El Paso.
King.
The soon-to-be Buffalo King of Las Vegas. The Sausage King of Chicago, a la Ferris Bueller. Benjamin Lawrence Sebastian Weekhage, at Benny L1986 across platforms. Give him a follow and talk shit about the Mariners
and
say what's up and talk shit about the Mariners.
Don't do that.
Talk about tell him which throwback Mariners jersey is your favorite. That's your number one topic of conversation. In terms of joy,
spring training,
right, and spring training.
Nothing else to talk about with baseball.
No, but let us know if you want to be in a fantasy baseball league because we're starting to think about possibly maybe starting one, and we need more than just
do it with listeners.
We should do it with listeners.
Man.
We would just
need first 7 listeners.
The first 7 listeners who say they want to be in a fantasy baseball league with us. We will do a fantasy baseball league. Maybe we'll do a bit of a buy-in, maybe not. We'll maybe what
$1,000.
It'll be fun. $1,000. That's it. $1,000.
Easy.
PM looking at you. You've got that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking, what is our Damnation? I forgot our own collective for a second. Digital Damnation will fund the whole thing. This is throwing these accusations out at the end of the podcast is the key. All you aspiring podcasters, no one's listening at this point. You can say whatever you want. Yeah. I'm Terry Horseman at Terry Horseman on Twitter, at Terrence Holstman on Instagram.com. You can find me on Blue Sky, just whatever, and elsewhere. I did go online to share love for the Beavs today, but trying to be on it less, but I will try to engage with
you.
I know I saw that.
WCC me.
At Belligerent Beavs. I already said that. BelligerentBeavs.com, BelligerentBeavs.com/merch. Support this women's basketball team as far as you can. Wherever their regional first and second round games are, drive there, go there, yell. We'll be yelling from Vegas and doing everything we can to keep this special run going.
Putting shout out entire life savings on them.
They'll play better if we all put our mortgages on them. That's what I heard, and that's what's real. So think about that when you're at the free throw line, AJ Marat.
Yeah,
three mortgages are all on you. Just kidding, but best of luck. Shout out Scott Rueck. Shout out AJ.
Yes.
Shout out Kenny Schuler. Shout out Catarina Ferreira. Shout out Sierra Bolden. Shout out Sela Heidi.
Reese.
Shout out Kelsey Reese. Shout out Beaver Nation. Shout out everyone.
Coach Rueck.
I said that, but shout out Coach Rueck again.
Twice.
Yeah. He deserves more shout outs. Yeah. Shout out Coach Rueck. Shout out Coach Rueck. four shout outs for making it to the Final Four again. Tune in again next week. We'll get
episode
176.
The Vegas episode.
the pre-Vegas episode. And
that would be
yeah, we've got another week. We've got another week. Selections. We got Selection Sunday, so we could do it Sunday night too.
Yeah, because I can't really edit when I'm in Vegas.
You don't go to Vegas until Wednesday. Yeah, so we can't do Tuesday.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. You don't go until Wednesday. Sounds good. Selection Sunday. Yeah. Tune in, tune out, get hyped. And remember, no matter what they do, no matter what they say, no matter what they take away, they cannot spell ChopEm without hope. So, ChopEm.
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 Beavs back in the dance, baby.
WCC champs.